is Harris of 12keysmusiclessons.com, and today we're going to be talking about your first guitar and some of the basics that you kind of need to know. This video is designed for somebody who's just their first guitar and they don't have any kind of musical background, and we're just going to be covering the basics of like how to sit properly, how to hold the guitar pick, and some of the different parts of the guitar. So now we'll talk about the different parts of the guitar. So the first thing we'll talk about is this is called the headstock. Okay? So the headstock's up here. Then we have the tuning pegs, also known as tuners. This guitar right here has 3 tuners on top. Some guitars have 6 on top. Some may even have 6 on the bottom or some other combination. But these are kind of the standard setup. The next part is right here. It's called the nut. This little plastic piece right here, plastic nylon. Your guitar, your nut is probably either going to be more of a white or kind of an off cream color. Mine is black on this guitar. Then up here, this whole front section is called the fretboard, and this whole thing right here is called the neck. Okay? On this fretboard, you have these little metal strips called frets. The frets are on the fretboard. Okay? You also have little dots here, but we're going to talk about those a little more in detail here in a little bit. The next part right here on this guitar are called the pickups. Now, there are a couple different combinations. You may have 2 pickups, you may have 3 pickups, you may even have 1 pickup. Okay? There are a couple different types of pickups. These are called humbuckers. Yours may have what's called single coils. It kind of depends on your guitar and its setup. This right here is called the bridge. Okay? You also probably have a volume knob and at least 1 or 2 tone knobs. Okay? When it comes to the volume knob, I'm the type of player that I'm either all the way up or all the way down. So when I'm playing, I'm either all the way up, or you'll notice when I finish playing, I have a tendency just to roll off the volume. Okay, get in the habit, if you're not playing, get in the habit of rolling off your volume. There are a lot of things that can be resolved by this. You don't want any extra noises, especially if you're doing a show or something. So you want to kind of get in the habit of rolling the volume off while you're not playing, and then just rolling it up when you are. Okay. Now, I do know some guitarists that do play with their volume knobs. I'm just not one of them. Generally, like I said, I'm either going to be all the way up or all the way off. But if you want to start experimenting with it, absolutely do. Okay? The back knob is the tone knob. Again, similar to the volume knob, I'm actually, the only time I ever touch my tone knob is just to make sure it's all the way up. Okay? But I do know some guitarists that like to play with their tone knob and they adjust their tone from here. Me personally, I just prefer to get my tone from the amp. Okay? Again, this is a preference thing. Feel free, mess with your tones, okay, and kind of try to help to define your sound. Now, the next little part we'll talk about is the pickup selector switch. Okay? And what the pickup selector switch is, it chooses different pickups. You can hear each one has kind of a little bit different tone. Okay? Now, I have my preferences. I know what I like to use for different types of songs. But as a beginner, what I suggest to you is to experiment. Okay? You're still new, and I don't want to sit there and tell you, oh, I use this, this, and this, because I want you to experiment with your own tone. So what you might want to do is set up your amp and just hit the open strings and listen. And find the tone that you like best. Okay? So as a beginner, you just need to find a tone, and then as you start developing, as you start getting different amps, different effects, you might start messing with that a little bit more. Okay? So your volume and your tone knobs, pickup selector, and then you have your neck strap. Okay? Our neck strap, usually it's kind of a little like peg down here for your neck strap to go over. These are called strap locks. I actually strongly recommend buying some strap locks. It keeps your guitar from falling off the strap. Okay, kind of a good thing. Okay. And those are the basic parts of the guitar. Now, the next part we're going to talk about is how to hold a guitar pick. Okay? So, the way I hold my guitar pick is, for one, I kind of take the sharp point and point it to the ceiling. I take my index finger and I point with it, and then I put my thumb on the back like a pencil. Okay? As a beginner, I usually just tell students just to hold it like you hold your pencil. Okay? Because that's probably a position that's really comfortable for you. But as you get better, I want to encourage you to experiment a little bit more, okay? So, like even me for myself, when I'm playing a song, usually if I'm playing something more on the fast side, a rock song or metal, I'm probably going to be pointing with it, kind of like how I showed you a while ago. Okay, but if I'm doing something country, something that has a little more chords in it, I may actually move my index finger kind of to the side where I'm holding it here. And if I do this little special trick called harmonics, you'll even see me drop my thumb down some, okay? And I have heard of other guitarists, professional guitarists, that will even roll their pick to the side during maybe a solo section or something. So to kind of recap this, as a beginner, I kind of suggest holding it like a pencil, okay? Something that you're comfortable with. But as you get better, start experimenting with different kind of ways to hold the pick, and also experiment with different kind of picks. Okay? What you'll find is they act a little bit different, okay? Or you'll get a little bit different of a tone. But experiment and just try to find what works best for you. If you're a fingerstyle player, okay, somebody who does a little fingerstyle, normally what I recommend, just for the beginning stages, is that put your thumb on either the E or A string, the top strings, and you're going to use your fingers for the bottom strings, the treble strings. Okay? This is not really a rule at all, but as a beginner, my unwritten rule is that your thumb only plays the top two strings, and your fingers only play the bottom strings. Again, not a rule at all, but as a beginner, it's going to help you to learn some of the basics. And speaking about strings, let's learn what our strings are. Okay? Now, you may already have an acronym, you may already have a saying to help you remember it. One of the deals I do with my students is I have them create their own, and this is actually created by one of my students. She came up with elephants and donkeys grow big ears. So E for elephants, A for and, D for donkeys, G for grow, B for big, and E for ears. So this is the one that my student uses, and this is the one that I teach my students, but I do recommend to kind of experiment and create your own, because this is going to help you to kind of learn this a little bit better, to memorize them quicker. One quick comment, you'll notice we had two E strings, elephants and ears. This is called your low E string, okay? Which is a little confusing for some. Low does not mean high or low, up or down, okay? Low refers to a low pitch versus high pitch, okay? So low E, high E. So for this part of the video, we're going to zoom in and talk about the frets a little bit better. So I want you to put your first finger inside the first fret, right beside the little fret, and this is 1, 2, and 3. Now inside the third fret, you'll notice you probably have a little dot here. Okay, and if you haven't noticed, I know some beginners haven't, you actually should have a dot here on the top of their fretboard also. Okay, so at the third fret, you notice we have a dot, 4th, 5th, at the 5th fret, so 3, 5, 7, 9. 3, 5, 7, 9. So what you'll notice is that these are all odd numbers. Okay, and this is really important because as we start getting into more and more songs, it's really important to know where you're at on your guitar. So 3, 5, 7, 9, these are all odd numbers, okay? And you should have dots on each of those. But now we go to the next one, 10, 11, 12. This is actually your only even number on most guitars, okay? And it's really important, but if this is your first guitar, if I talked about it, it's a little bit above your level right now, okay? But do understand the 12th fret is actually really important, and it's your only even number on most guitars. 15, 17, and you'll notice we're now back to odds. 19, 21. Now, some guitars will go all the way up to 24. Okay, again, another even number. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. But not a lot, okay? Most of them go around to the 21 or 22 frets, okay? But it just depends on your guitar. Again, the main thing I want to point out is odds. 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 12. Okay, and then back to odds. 15, 17, 19, 21. Thank you for watching. So today what we did is we discussed some of the basics of the guitar, some of the basic techniques. In the follow-up video that I'll be recording very soon, then we'll start discussing things like where do your fingers go and some of the basic exercises. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button below. And if you want me to cover any subject or is there anything that you want me to clarify, feel free to post a comment below and I'll make sure to get back those as soon as I can. So thank you for watching and hope you have a wonderful day.